Welcome back sa ating channel. Naging mainit nga na usapin di umano sa mundo ng social media ang talagang paglilitis at pagkakaisa nga ng mga kongresista na ito sa pagtanggal nga ng prangkisa ng SMNI. Ngayon nga ay talagang linilitis na ito sa kongreso at nakikita na ang tunay na mga ugali ng mga kongresista na pinag-iinitan lamang nila ang SMNI na ito dahil nga supporters ito ng mga Duterte na wala naman silang maipakita na matibay na ebidensya. Kaya naman dapat sa mga kongresista na ito ay dapat magkaroon tayo ng batas na sila ay maparusahan kung nagkakamali rin sila sa paglilitis. Dagdag nga ng maraming netizen. Sana makagawa po ng batas na kapag ang Congress body ang nagkamali ng handle sa issue na pinag-aksayahan ng pera ng bayan, sana mabilanggo po tapos bitay para hindi dumami lahi nila at para matutong mag-aral ng takang batas ng Pilipinas ang tatakmong babatas. Sana yun ang wish ko for 2024. Red tag kayo ng red tag. Gumawa kayo ng batas para magbawal ng mga announce kung sino-sino mga NPA. Masyado kayong belat sibuyas kasi tinamaan kayo. Huwag niyong gamitin ang salitang katotohanan dahil alam nyo sa sarili nyo kung totoo kayo o hindi. Dapat gumawa din sila ng batas tungkol sa abusadong mga mambabatas sa pag-iimbestiga and aid of legislation kuno. Pero puro lang paepal ang lumalabas, wala naman nagagawang batas. Well mga kaibigan, para nga sa karagdagang impormasyon, panoorin nga natin ang buong video. At kung bago ka pa lamang sa aking channel, huwag kalimutan i-click ang subscribe button at notification bell para lagi kang updated sa ating mga bagong video. At para sa solid viewers natin dyan, maraming salamat sa walang sawang pagsuporta.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For now, wala pa pong timeline itong mga usapin na ito sapagkat lumalalim po ang ating usapin sa West Philippine Sea. Yan lang po. Thank you.
Can SMNI elaborate on that, Mr. Chair? Kasi ang nabanggit kanina, whatever is the stand of, for example, China doon sa West Philippine Sea, hindi daw makaka-affect sa kanilang coverage. Pero ngayon, Mr. Chair, ang binabanggit dahil umiinit ang issue, then hindi pa definitely makapagsabi ang SMNI, kailan mapipinal ang agreement?
Katulad po ng sinabi ko, Mr. Chair.
Yes, please. You have
yes
the floor.
po. Katulad ng sinabi ko po kanina, wala pa pong final date dahil hindi pa po kami uli nakikipag-usap sa CGTN kung kailan po ito maisa sa pinal. Kaya po ang aming mga balita ay isa sa pinal.
Sige, Mr. Chair, kasi ang naging tweet mismo ng SMNI News, ang pinakita natin kanina, ang sabi po doon, the partnership deal is set to be finalized. And ang date po noon ay July 18, 2023. So Mr. Chair, ilang buwan na rin ang lumipas, kaya I think it is timely for us to ask, no? Kasi nga ang involved dito ay ang patuloy na operations ng SMNI, and we have the right to know kung kailan talaga mafa-finalize ang ganitong agreement, kung ito naman ay titindigan talaga ng SMNI na matuloy.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Attorney
the last
Tolentino.
meeting with the executives of SMNI and China State TV, the CGTN, was last July 2023. But still, we are still in the process of negotiation. It's not yet final. Hopefully, as soon as possible, as long as wala pong ma-violate na law ng ating batas, we will agree. But assuming na may violations of the law, we will not sign any agreement with the TV CGTN. That's why we would like to undertake na yung SMNI, we will follow all the laws and the Philippine Constitution with respect to this agreement.
Okay. Now, Mr. Chair, ang kasunod po natin na magiging tanong, no? Dahil ang SMNI, as we have observed, naging part ng kanyang pag-present ng mga balita, whether totoo man o hindi, ay ang pagre-red tag sa iba't ibang mga tao. Mr. Chair, concerned ang ating mga mangingisda na nandyan sa area na malapit sa West Philippine Sea dahil sila sa totoo lang mahal nila ang bayan, tapos ang at stake dyan ay aside sa territory natin, kabuhayan nila. Now, Mr. Chair, they are very bothered with this kind of partnership dahil kapag halimbawa sila ay nagsalita in defense of the West Philippine Sea, paano sila i-cover ng SMNI kung ganon kasama ang tingin sa mga taong nagpapaabot lamang ng kanilang mga hinaing. They fear that if ever lumala ang nangyayari sa West Philippine Sea, baka sila pa ay i-red tag ng SMNI, tatawaging mga kalaban ng bayan, when in fact what they are doing is actually in service of the goals of our country.
The reply. Are you asking for a reply?
Yes.
Attorney Tolentino.
We believe, Mr. Chair, that there is no red tagging. We never practice red tagging. And in fact, wala po sa batas ang red tagging, Mr. Chair.
So, sandali. So, ang sinasabi ho nyo, hindi rin nag-red tag.
Never.
Then
Mr.
you
Chair.
follow it up by, there is no law
Yes, Mr. Chair.
that describes red tagging
Yes, Mr.
or
Chair.
defines red tagging.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, meron na pong mga bahagi ng ating judicial branch na nag-define ng red tagging. We have Associate Justice Marvic Leonen, nandiyan din ang Manila Regional Trial Court. So, Mr. Chair, andyan na rin po ang mga definitions. And Mr. Chair, isa nga ito sa mga mabibigat na usapin natin kasi itong nangyayaring red tagging, totoo at real siya na nangyayari. So, hindi natin matanggapin na hanggang ngayon ay dinedenay ng network na ginagawa niya ito. Kasi napakarami na pong mga independent outlets and even other fact-checking agencies na nagsasabi na nagre-red tag ang SMNI. Halimbawa, Mr. Chair, so actually maliban dun sa issue nga, 'di ba, ng pangre-red tag sa mga defenders din ng West Philippine Sea, ay napakarami ding mga usapin pa. For example, Mr. Chair, we have Verifiles na nag-fact check ng isa sa mga claims ni Lorraine Badoy Partosa. Ang sabi po nila ay for example, we have Jonathan De Santos na isang officer, actually chairperson ng National Union of Journalists of the Philippines, Mr. Chair. So supposedly, if SMNI claims that it is a legitimate media organization, then dapat katuwang niya at pinoprotektahan din niya ang kanyang kapwa media. And right now, they are even appealing to other media outlets to defend its freedom of expression. Pero Mr. Chair, inabuso ng SMNI ang kanyang freedom of expression to the point na pati media ay nire-red tag nila. So, Mr. Chair, meron po ba tayong resource person mula sa, for example, media practitioners natin?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, meron po bang from like media practitioners?
Yes. Yes. Can you already reply? Kasi we will have to move, no? We're still discussing the bill of the Honorable Nograles, that the committee report. So we will have to wind up already so that we can move on to the other questions, no? Okay. Yes, please.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Chair.
Oh, the Honorable
Clarify
Nograles,
lang,
I'm sorry, ma'am.
resolution pa po, hindi po bill yung final ko, resolution po.
Yes.
Resolution po. Sinasabi mo kasi Mr. Chair bill, hindi po bill
My
yung final
apologies.
ko.
The resolution authored by the Honorable Nograles. My apologies. We now proceed, please.
Mr. Chair, I was asking if meron pong mga resource person tayo from like media practitioners or media groups.
Please.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, I will defer the question of the Honorable Raul Manuel to our in-house consultant for broadcast operations, Mr. J. Sonsa.
We have in our presence to represent SMNI, Mr. J. Sonsa. You have the floor, sir.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. With respect to the things that were explained by the honorable congressman from the party list.
Yes, sir.
For as long as there is a jurisprudence and there is an approved law pertaining to red tag, I'm sure any and all media practitioners will follow it. In the meantime, that there are no laws, or what he was mentioning were independent opinions of some associate justices. Mahirap hong pangunahan namin ang ating Supreme Court, ang House of Representatives, ang Senate, na gagawa kami ng bagay na hindi naman naayon as we were simply, if there are, kung meron po kayong naiisip na na-red tag kayo, perhaps it was simply because there were descriptions which were pronounced by the very Anti-Terrorism Council. But it is not because it was a personal or a network practice to red tag you. Pero tinitiyak ko po sa inyo, kapag ka may batas na bawal yung ganon, susunod po kami. Maraming salamat po.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, to respond and to wind up, we have 3 branches of government. While sa atin po, Mr. Chair, we filed a bill to criminalize red tagging. Pero habang wala pa po yan, hindi ibig sabihin na wala tayong gagawin kapag nangyayari ito. And in fact, kaya natin sinasalang ang mga resolution, ang isang resolution and other resolutions at mga batas, panukalang batas dito. Dahil gusto nating mapanagot ang mga actually supposedly nasa media, pero sila din ay nasa forefront ng red tagging na ang batayan nito, Mr. Chair, ay maraming kasinungalingan. Kasi napakadaling maghabi ng kasinungalingan. We can have 1,000 versions of lies. Pero ang katotohanan po kasi, Mr. Chair, nag-iisa lang yan. At yan ang mahirap na gawin. At yan ay dapat ipagkatiwala natin sa mga credible media organizations. And as we can see right now, SMNI is a huge exception. Hindi lamang sa journalistic standards, pero sa paano ina-uphold ang katotohanan, Mr. Chair. Kaya with that, given the detrimental effects of what SMNI is doing, hindi lamang sa mga kababayan natin na nagpapahayag, mayroong mga advocacies, pero may implications na rin sa national sovereignty natin, Mr. Chair, with this partnership na as we can see, parang hindi nga rin talaga lubos na madepensahan dahil tinake down pa ang sarili nilang news item. So that's why kailangan talaga, Mr. Chair, merong managot doon sa mga maling ginagawa. That would be all for now. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Manuel, after that, we will go to the Honorable Gutierrez. But before that, the chair would like to recognize the new members that entered the hall after the roll call was made. Of course, the chair would like to recognize the Honorable David J.J. Suarez of the 2nd District of Quezon, the Honorable Edsel Galeos of the 2nd District of Cebu. He is in here already. Of course, I saw the Honorable Jervy Luistro of the 2nd District of Batangas. Welcome, ma'am. The Honorable Daphne Lagon of the 4th District of Cebu. Welcome to my neighbor. The Honorable Jeff Konghun, the 2nd District of Zambales. To the equally good-looking representative of the city of Parañaque, the Honorable Congressman Edwin Olivares. Thank you for coming. Of course, to the Honorable Christian Unabia of the 1st District, Misamis Oriental. And last but not least, to the hardworking honorable member of this council, of this Congress from the 2nd District of Marikina City, who promised to be here after the BICAM. And I hope the budgets have improved. The Honorable Stella Luz Kimbo of the 2nd District of Marikina City. Welcome, ma'am. And of course, yes, I was looking for him early on. The Honorable Alan T. Is he here? Sir, welcome. We now proceed. Who?
Mr. Chair,
Wait, the Honorable David Suarez.
Can I
JJ
just have
Suarez has a rejoin there. Then the Honorable
Yeah.
Dan Salvador
Doon lang
will
sa
now have
point
also
na-
another question. Yes.
Thank you. Doon sa point na ni-raise ni Congressman Manuel, I understand it was the president of SMNI. Sir, are you with us today? Yeah. I understand you represented SMNI in Beijing in July this year to talk about the partnership between your two networks. Can you please further elaborate on the details of this partnership between these two networks?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. SMNI has collaborated with China's state TV CGTN following the executives meeting in Beijing, China in July 2023. Nag-usap po kami kasi in-invite po kami nila doon para sa pag-cover ng ASEAN Games. Yun yung parang unang usapan na magkaroon kami ng collaboration na makahingi kami ng mga videos ng mga palaro doon at maibalita dito sa atin sa Pilipinas. At doon nagmula ang magiging partnership sana na gagawin pero hindi pa na-finalize hanggang ngayon. So, but for now, hanggang sa video sharing lang po kung ano po ang pinakamagandang balita, may mga breaking news na kailangan malaman po ng mga Pilipino ay binabalita po ng SMNI. Ganun din po kung meron pong mga balita na nasa Pilipinas na gusto ring malaman ng mga Chinese. Ganun din po kasi ang practice ng networks dito sa Pilipinas. In fact, marami pong humingi sa amin ng videos, binibigyan po namin sila as long na mayroong courtesy po ng network na kung saan sila humingi. Ganun din po kami, humingi din po kami sa kanila. Ganun lang po kasimple ang partnership. Wala pong ibang, sa ngayon din po, hindi po naka-finalize at wala pong pinirmahan na mga partnership po. Hanggang verbal agreement lang po, Mr. Chair.
So thank you very much. So Mr. Chair, in other words, wala pa pong dokumentong draft
Wala pa po,
between
Mr.
both
Chair.
parties?
Wala pa po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just want to share kasi yung concerns ni Kong Manuel. May lumalabas kasing sa China news na yung mga Pilipino ang naging aggressive sa West Philippine Sea. Binaliktad po nila yung kwento. Iba yung kwento sa kanila doon sa tunay na nangyari sa mga Pilipino. Kaya ito po ay medyo may pangamba din para sa akin. Dahil alam naman natin, di ba, there are always two versions to the story. But, you know, as Filipinos, we always have to support that which the Philippine government holds. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Before I give it to the Honorable Rog, I just opened the letter now. No? It's addressed to me. This is response to a December 6th invitation for your committee for me to appear this on a hearing December at its hearing on December 11 at 11 o'clock a.m. I have not been an officer of Suara Sub Media Corporation from the time of the enactment of Republic Act 1442 up to the present. Hence, I must respectfully send my regrets for my absence in the hearing today. Sincerely, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy. Do you confirm that he is not an officer since the renewal of the franchise in 2019? The Honorable Mr. President, Mr. Rosete, hindi po opisyales siya post kasi inimbitahan namin sa hearing niya na ito si Pastor Kibuloy.
Mr. Chair, hindi po, Mr. Chair.
So, but he owns, may shares po siya sa kumpanya. Establish po natin yun. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Attorney
May I be recognized?
Suplico, you're recognized.
Your Honor, in 2018, Pastor Apollo owned 1.5% of the stock holdings of Suara Sub Media Corporation. But sometime in 2021, 2022, he donated his shares to the cooperative, which is now reported, which is now in the cooperative is now listed as a stockholder of Suara Sub Media Corporation as of the filing of the 2023 amended GIS.
When did, in 2020, wala na po ba si Pastor Kibuloy?
2020, he was still a stockholder.
Officer?
No, not an officer, Your Honor, but a stockholder.
Yes.
As to 1.5%.
Correct. 2023 siya nawala eh.
2020, sometime in 2022, Your Honor.
Okay. So, kaya nga, pag-report sa 2023, wala na po yung pangalan niya.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And he has 0 shares in SMNI or Suara
Yes.
Sub?
At the moment, yes, Your Honor.
No shares?
No shares at all.
Okay. Under his name?
Yes, Your Honor.
But if he is a member of the cooperative or any other company, then he could still have his shares.
He is
correct?
not a member of the cooperative, Your Honor.
He's not also a member.
That's
He's
correct.
not also a director of any of the other corporations that are involved in the Seoul. How about the Seoul Corporation?
Yes, Your Honor. He is not.
He's not.
Yes, Your Honor. He is not.
So in any form, shape, or manner, he's not an owner.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you feeling better now? Because last hearing, you had to run to the clinic. Are you okay?
Well, I'm monitoring my BP, Your Honor.
Okay. So I hope you're okay.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you, Your Honor, for the
Thank you.
concern.
Yes.
just a short
Yes, the
interjection.
Honorable Kimbo.
Yes, in the last hearing, I made a manifestation that based on the GIS, Mr. Apollo Kibuloy was listed as ultimate beneficial owner. I believe until 2021. So can we hear a confirmation
Well, they
from Attorney Supico?
Congs-
Or maybe the question is, until when was he
the
ultimate beneficial owner?
Okay. Attorney Rolex Suplico.
Your Honor, I'm holding the a copy of the amended GIS for 2023. In the last, he is not a stockholder of record
Oh, that's
as of this time, Your Honor.
no earlier, sir. So the question is, until when was he ultimate beneficial owner? So the GIS that I read in the last hearing were, I believe, 2021 and 2022. So ang pinakita po natin was a change in ownership or change in UBO from 2021 to 2022. So sa pagkakaalala ko, as of end 2021, siya po ang nakalista na UBO.
Let me check the record, Your Honor. I
Mr.
wanted
Chair.
to speak
Okay.
based on the record.
Can you, I'll go back to you, no? Attorney Suplico.
Thank you, Your
On
Honor.
2 points. One, yung kanina sa IT, the turning down of who put down the page, and this issue raised by the Honorable Kimbo. You will have to validate also because the documents held by the Honorable Fernandez says hanggang 2020, but your answer to me earlier was 2022. So we would like to know a clear response under oath on this issue. The Honorable Francisco, the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez is recognized. Oh, I'm sorry. The Honorable Franz Castro, then the Honorable Ramon Gutierrez. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Yes. What is the point of honor, the Honorable Dan Fernandez?
Isn't it the policy of the rules of the this committee to have a alternate on the
Yes,
asking
my
of
apologies, the
questions?
Honorable Dan Fernandez, because I'm just following the list of, as I stated earlier, it's the first to register will be acknowledged.
Don't get me
But,
wrong, I don't want to
yes,
undermine
okay.
the minority,
Yes,
but it
yes.
is the policy of this
Yes, so I
committee to
will,
have an
yes,
alternate.
yes, I would like to give way first to Honorable Franz Castro. Then if the Honorable Gutierrez will give way to you, then we will go for it, okay?
Hindi, kasi
As a
yung-
senior member
Kasi
of
ibang
the,
majority,
kasi mo-
majority are also
because
waiting for
they,
their turn.
yeah, but you will have to put your name.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you're not in the list, then I will not be able to determine who's majority and minority. Like, you know, tiyo ko po yan, kaya kaya ko pong sabihin yon. The Honorable Franz Castro is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So ito dapat tatanong ko nung second nung second committee hearing, the rundown of the different cases filed against Lorraine Badoy and also to Lorraine Badoy. Okay? Siguro ang unang tanong ko po Mr. Chairman, si Attorney Tolentino po ba yung attorney rin or counsel po ni Lorraine Badoy sa lahat ng kaso?
No, Mr. Chair. I've only engaged with respect to this hearing, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So thank you po no. Siguro for the for the information ng ating ng ating committee, ira-rundown ko lang po yung ilan sa mga red tagging na ni Lorraine Badoy no, na nakasampa na ngayon doon sa iba't ibang mga complaint na in relation din po doon kay Representative Pimentel last time. So nung April 9 about kay Maria Ressa, yung April 19, 2022, this administrative complaint filed by the Office of the Ombudsman, violation of Section 4A of the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards over malicious and defamatory posts and articles against journalists. So Ressa listed as at least 9 instances when Badoy branded her as an enemy of the state using his verified Facebook page or through official websites. So Badoy had also falsely declared Rappler as an ally and mouthpiece of the CPP-NPA. So ito po yung isang kaso. Pamilyar po ba kayo doon sa program?
I have no personal knowledge with respect to that case, Mr. Chair.
So wala kayong no. So next, Mr. Chair, another one, Mr. Chair, yung former Kabataan Representative Sara Elago. On December 7, 2022, this is also an administrative complaint, violation of Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for public officials and employees against 6 officials of NTF-ELCAC, including Badoy, filed with the Ombudsman. Badoy and other officials were charged and committed grave misconduct for repeatedly claiming she was a communist rebel and accusing the Progressive Party List group of acting as a front organization for the CPP. So former Representative Elago argued 6 government officials were acting in official capacity and are guilty of malfeasance when they made claims against her. So ito rin po isa rin pong kaso. And then on December 4, 2020, ito po yung kaso ni Lorraine Badoy when she was still a spokesperson of the NTF-ELCAC. 2020 pa po yan. So December 4, 2020, by karapatan, criminal and administrative charges against Badoy, NSC, Hermones Esperon Jr., Antonio Parlade, and Mocha Uson for crime against humanity by persecution under 2009 law incorporating international humanitarian law. So Karapatan Secretary General Cristina Palabay said she and Karapatan had been persistently tagged as terrorist members or supporters of the CPP-NPA by the respondents. So yan, isa pa. So ibig sabihin, Mr. Chair, so ito pong si Lorraine Badoy, talagang persistent, consistent po yung mga red tagging na ginagawa. Hindi lang po siya ngayon, sa nakalipas pa, even before ngayon na natin pinapatawag natin sila, no. So marami pa pong kaso. And then another case po sa Supreme Court, October 2022, various lawyers, judges, law practitioners, and their respective organizations. So, the Supreme Court, motu proprio, and the following numerous formal and informal complaints raised to its attention, ordered her to explain why he shouldn't be cited in contempt after her online rants against Judge Magdosa Malagar. Her rants were spurred by decision junking the government's petition to proscribe as terrorists the CPP-NPA. Magdosa Malagar said crimes alleged in the government petition were against the law but did not fall under the terrorism as defined in the HSA. So sinabi po dito sa isang kanyang programa, Mr. Chair, if I kill this judge and I do so out of my political belief that all allies of the CPP, NPA, and DF must be killed because there is no difference in my mind between a member of the CPP, NPA, and DF and their friends, then please be lenient to me. She has also insinuated that Judge's husband, UP Cebu Chancellor Leo Malagar, has links to CPP, NPA and used to be communist cadre. And days prior, the SC also issued a stern warning against those who continue to incite violence against judges and their families. It said such action will be considered as contempt of court and will be dealt with accordingly. So, sinasabi natin, Mr. Chair, dito, yung about po dun sa mga red tagging. So, meron na po itong jurisprudence na binanggit po ni Representative Manuel at meron na rin po itong sa Supreme Court. Okay? Yung tungkol po doon sa desisyon ng Supreme Court na sinulat po ni Justice Leonen. And isa pa po, last na po ito, Mr. Chair, yung Ibon Foundation, February 10, 2020, administrative complaint with the Ombudsman against Badoy, Parlade, and Esperon, further persistent attacks against and red tagging of progressive groups, which the policy research group said violated provisions of Code of Conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees, conduct grossly disgraceful of the public interest, unprofessional, unjust, and insincere political bias, unresponsive to the public, distorting nationalism and patriotism.